Hey everybody, happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing okay. And hope you guys can hear me. There we are, boom. Always do the test. Or else I'm just here talking to myself. Anyway, as usual, let's not waste any time and jump right in. So I hope everything is good. And let's take off. So, and my key is not working. Give me 1 second. I need my little magic key. There we are. Makes it much easier to just flick through the slides. So math, money, freedom, you guys know the drill. And this is not financial advice. So big thank you. I just want to say something real brief. I started this journey in January. I'm nearly at the 200,000 subscriber mark. I very rarely ask for people to subscribe. But what I vouch to the community, no matter what time of day, I will be up. And when we get and hit 200,000 subscribers, I will be online, even if it's 3 a.m., and I will answer your questions from anywhere in the world. No super chats. I will just take all of your questions for 1 hour straight. So that is my commitment to you. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. And let's get to 2,000. I reckon that could happen in the next 32 hours or so, going by my numbers. So we'll see. 32 to 36 hours. Again, we'll do a special live stream or even a 200,000 watch, and maybe we can make the market pump at the same time. So speaking of the market, the cryptocurrency market has hit a 3-month high with a total valuation of 2.036 trillion, which is great. And what's really remarkable about this is all the FUD that we were all worried about way back when. It's a distant memory. Nobody remembers it at all. So let's keep up the positive momentum. Now, in other news as well, as you know, Bitcoin dominance is down a little bit. We hit about 47% of the total market cap. So it was, put it this way, for those who aren't familiar with this stat, if we have a 2 trillion crypto market cap and Bitcoin is 50% dominance, that means 1 trillion is the market cap of Bitcoin. And we're going back to a trillion pretty soon. I'm pretty sure of that. But right now it's down to about 44.26. But the reason for this is the altcoins are strengthening. And you can see here in this chart, we have Solana is now 0.95% of the crypto market cap, nearly 1%. But you know me and you know my numbers. I think it's got a long way to go. And we'll talk more about that afterwards as well. Now, the other interesting thing, and this is a beautiful chart. Thank you, Sanjay, who shared this with me. And this is a quick indication of how much everything is hyperinflating against Bitcoin. This is the S&P 500 since last year. And you can see that it's gone from 0.5 of a Bitcoin down to 0.1 of a Bitcoin. So if you think the stock market is making all-time new highs, no, it's not. It's actually shrinking compared to Bitcoin. So that's going back to yesterday's video when I spoke about, denominate everything, like a cup of coffee being nearly 5,000 Satoshis. We need to start thinking in terms of Bitcoin. And that is our new basis. If we start thinking in terms of dollars, it doesn't really make sense. So, and I've been talking about that as well for a long time. When you look at gold against the real true purchasing power of the last 11 years, it hasn't done well. So, and when you look at it against Bitcoin, it's a horror show. So that's just that. Now, this is another cute little piece. And what we've gone through with all the regulatory news lately, and there's been the clash over the tax rules has brought a lot of people out of the woodwork. Senators like Ted Cruz, you've got people like Elon Musk getting very vocal, and it's brought a lot of galvanization. But the interesting thing about this is obviously fix money, fix the world. It's pretty cool, but you got people that actually believe that. You've got Ashton Kutchers and the Elon Musks, and you got your Square and Twitter, Jack Dorsey, CEO, and everybody else has come out, and it's caused really crypto to really be on everybody's radar right now. Not only are people aware of it, much more aware, and there's much more adoption going, which I'll talk about in a second, but also the politicians now are very aware that the cyber hornets are out there, so don't cross them. Now, speaking of adoption and awareness, I showed a chart similar to this about a week ago, and it just keeps going up and up. Now, what this is basically Bitcoin holders with less than 10 Bitcoin, so 9.99999 Bitcoin or less, can't get enough Bitcoin. So the retail guys are really buying like there's no tomorrow. And this has not slowed down. This continues to accelerate. Everybody is looking for an alternative. So it's an extremely positive thing. I know I spent a lot of time campaigning and fostering for people to become whole coiners. And this is hopefully a little piece of that too. But the importance of everybody really hedging against the inflation and the hyperinflation that's coming down the pike, especially for people in certain countries like Argentina, Nigeria, etc., El Salvador. We are early, but it's taking off. And it's so good to see the little guy get a piece. So well done, everybody. And don't let go. A lot of talk now about, oh, I'm up, I'm making money, I'm green. A lot of people are so excited and at the same time conservative, and they want to sell out. So hold on, we got lots of room to go. And Bitcoin isn't something you sell anyway. So a little bit in terms of not only is the small guy buying, but the big institutions have gone in hard last quarter. So you've got Cathie Wood again. She bought another 900,000 shares of GBTC and about 90,000 shares of ETH. Rothschild Investment Group bought another 100,000 shares of GBTC, tripling their exposure from the first quarter of this year. And they also bought about 14,000 shares of ETH. And Parkwood Firm added 32,000 shares of ETH on top of about 100,000 shares of GBTC. And they added ETH for the first time, about 190,000 of them. So basically, a lot of institutional money is still coming in, still coming into Grayscale. And that is fantastic news. So the little guy's buying and the big money's buying. I wonder what's happening in the middle. So we'll see. Now let's talk a little bit about premiums. It's very important. One of the reasons as well these institutional guys are buying GBTC, it's still at a 10% discount. Granted, it was at 16-17% discount a couple of weeks ago, but still 10%. We went up to about 4 or 5% discount about 10 to 15 days ago, and it's gone up again. So that is a great thing. You're buying Bitcoin at a 10% off discount. Now the Ethereum discount is less, but it's kind of similar. You get 4% off your net asset value for Ethereum, which is still not to be sniffed at. So if you have a retirement account, if it's your only on-ramp for crypto, there's no harm in getting a little ETH or GBTC as well from Grayscale. So in some more related Ethereum news, sadly, Ethereum transaction fees are on the rise again. Now this has been a plague of Ethereum from the get-go. And people thought after EIP 1559, solutions like Polygon would no longer be required. But oh yeah, they are. So stay tuned for that. So part of this also is driven by the huge adoption of the Ethereum network, but also NFTs, which something like, I don't know, billions and billions of NFTs have been sold. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well on the Ethereum network. Now, related to that too, this was a super interesting story, is Microsoft, Alibaba, and Carnegie Mellon University have come together to build a 4-pillar privacy solution using the Ethereum blockchain. It's a pretty cool use case. Basically, what they're trying to do is they have 4 pillars in this solution. Looks at full transparency, obviously giving incentives for people to report piracy, full open information, and optimize the whole flow. Now, the idea behind this is to make it easy for people to inform of pirates using pirated software or other types of technology on the blockchain. And of course, keeping their details private and giving them incentives to do that as well. So this is a really cool use of the blockchain. As I say, everything is going to the blockchain. And every time I find a really cool new use case, this is amazing. So big thumbs up to Carnegie Mellon, Alibaba, who they're going through their little shake-up right now. And full disclosure, I hold Alibaba. I don't hold Microsoft. And but I thought that was pretty cool. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. And people make fun of me now on the internet for talking about Solana too much. But everybody's asking, why did Solana bounce over the weekend with crazy 70% gains? So basically, a couple of things have happened. And first of all, if you go back to January 1st, 2020, we're up 3,900%. Not bad. Take that. But a couple of the big things that are happening is all of a sudden, Solana has gotten the attention of institutions. And that is also very important. You always hear me talk about the importance of institutional money. Retail, us, can only take it so far. But when the big money comes in with the hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, changes the game. So institutions are now looking at Solana. And you can see that as well with some of the OTC activity on Solana too. So that's great for the protocol. Now, what else is happening? So if you look at this is the total value locked on the Solana DeFi blockchain. And the number of transactions also exceeded 24 billion transactions since inception. So this thing is going from strength to strength across all metrics, second thing. And the third thing is this. It's kind of funny, but they're very cute. But here you can buy a JPEG of an NFT, a Solana NFT, for $65,000. And these things are selling like hotcakes. In fact, they all sold out in 8 minutes. Imagine $65,000 for a little picture. Hundreds and hundreds of them sold out in 8 minutes. All of them gone. Hundreds of millions of dollars in value sold. So that's just the crazy world in which we live in. But why not? So in final news as well, when something hits the top 10, and Solana just entered the top 10 of all cryptos, last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday, Solana had an $11 billion market cap, because I remember I built a table of comparing market caps for Cardano to Ethereum with Solana, and now it's $18.78 billion. So 70% gains, and you can see here Solana's number 10, but next in line is number 9 at Polkadot, and they're about 24 billion market cap. But I do believe, even though I hold Polkadot, full disclosure, and Solana, I do believe Solana will leapfrog Polkadot soon too. So welcome to the top 10. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. He's obviously behind Solana as well, very involved in the project, but he has graciously given the Bitcoin developers a $450,000 donation. This is huge. I'm a big fan of FTX, all that they do, and the way they give back to society, and they, nearly $500,000 to the Bitcoin developers to ensure, and that's a big truckload of money, probably cover 4 or 5 developers for 9 months or so, hopefully. But that will go to making the Bitcoin network even more safe and secure with more features, and hopefully adding more smart contract capability in the future. So thank you, Sam. Nice work. This was a funny one, and this has a little lesson. This is Mike Novogratz. And he said, I've learned one thing in the past 24 hours. The Cardano army is a passionate group of followers. The Cardano army, like the XRP army. He says, I still have no position and still think there are better level 1 alternative bets like Luna and Sol. Luna has been on fire. But the key message here, everybody, I get this a lot. It's not possible for every investor to be on every single trade. You can't ride every horse. In fact, I'm a very big believer on extreme focus of maybe 10 to 12 horses. That's all you can look at. You can't look at 20,000 cryptos. And that's where we are. And that point from Mike, I think, is the lesson we all should take away. You can't catch every trade. You can't win them all. But as long as you're on most of them or some of the top ones, you're fine. So again, I'm not on Luna. I am on Solana. No problem. I'm also in Cardano as well. So I just want to share that little lesson for everybody. Now, a little piece here on the 10-year Treasury. People asking, oh, good, what are we talking about the 10-year Treasury for? But this is important because there's a lot of stuff. We always have to look at the macro backdrop when we look at Bitcoin. So the 10-year Treasury continues its fall. It's down 4 basis points today to about 1.236% as talks of tapering are kicking in again. What tapering means is when the Fed stops the money printing, stops buying bonds out there in the marketplace. And that's very important. They've been buying them like crazy. They've been pumping the market full of money because of the C-19 situation and everything else. But now we have a situation where they've decided, okay, guys, inflation's out of control. We got to do something. But they need to keep the interest rates low. 10-year Treasury needs to stay low. Second of all, if they stop spending and they jeopardize the economy and GDP growth, we spin into a recession real fast. And with resurging C-19 and supply chain problems, which are going to drive a lot of inflation, I don't think they can do that. But it's very important that we all watch Jay Powell's meeting tomorrow. I think it's 1:30 Eastern time. And it's very important to find out exactly what he does because he can rattle markets. he should say, okay, we might do a little bit of tapering, not say, hey, we're going to start tapering now, we're going to raise interest rates, because that will kill everything. So expect the markets to be a little bit nervous like they were today. Now, why does the 10-year Treasury matter? Again, very important to know if you are investing in things like Bitcoin, because in the past, the 10-year Treasury drives the dollar index. Because the higher the interest rate you pay on the dollar, the more attractive the asset becomes. And that brings money into the dollar. And historically, when the Treasury yield goes up, Bitcoin price goes down. But this is no longer the case, at least for the time being. Anyway, if you look at the lines, the orange line I have there is the Bitcoin price, and the red and green one is the 10-year Treasury. You can see that it was completely correlated up until our little crisis between Elon Musk and China miners and China kicking Bitcoin out and everything else. But now we're back on track again. And it's just fascinating for me, hopefully for everybody else out there, is the complete correlation, which is historically different from the past. If you go back to 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, it wasn't the same. And now it's completely correlated, which is interesting. But then you had that break for 10, 11 weeks. Now it's back on track. But we'll be monitoring it very carefully because it's very, very important to where we go from here. Now, a little bit of history. Yesterday was the 50-year history of fiat currencies, when governments can print money without any ramifications. And it's been a failure, and nothing's really has come of it. Especially if you look at what the US dollar has done in purchasing power over the last 50 years, it's pretty horrific. And but now we're smarter. We have things like YouTube. We've got information at our fingertips, and we can share information and together be smarter. So this is something that I think was Barry Silbert may have been behind this from one of the US Foundry pools. But they wrote on a block today on Bitcoin the words WTF. And the exact phrasing was hashtag WTF happened in 1971. So this has gone down in history. I'll be remembered in infamy. It was posted yesterday. And I thought you should all be aware because, fiat is important for our future. We've got to know where it's going and how to prepare for what's coming next. Because there's so many cases all around the world of where their fiat currencies just spiral down the toilet. And that's not good. Final note today as a lesson for everybody. Investing can be very, very stressful. And this is a situation, sadly, out of Korea, where a teacher was in some financial difficulty, overheard some students in 2017 that they were making money on Bitcoin. The teacher asked the students to invest on her behalf, invested $17,000 worth into Bitcoin, and of course it didn't go so well because they picked the top of the market and went into a bear market, etc. But then the teacher threatened the student. So the point is, it's a stressful game. If it's too stressful for you, don't let it ruin your mental health. Outsource it to somebody who can manage your money or whatever else. But again, everybody remember, only invest what you can lose. And that's a big takeaway lesson from today. Cool. With that, I'm going to switch cameras and open up to a little Q&A. And hope everybody is doing well. And hope everything's still working. And you guys, Howard is the man. Hopefully Howard is here today, and hope he knows he has a humpback whale named after him, which is the biggest sponsorship we've ever done, both in terms of monetary bigness and also size of animal. So let me see if I have questions in the box for our moderator. So happy Monday, everybody. And I should also check the market and see what's going on. Because normally when you guys are here, the market pumps. And I have my pump right beside me if we need it. So it's a brand new day. The market just switched over after 5 o'clock Pacific time. And Solana took a little bit of a dip. It's down $2. But now it's up 65 cents already in the new day. And let me see if anything else is going good before I jump into questions. Yeah, a little bit of weakness on the Bitcoin side, Ethereum side, but lots of strength on the altcoins. So Howard is back. Thanks here today. Oh, no. Howard, you're too much, really. Anyway, so had to sell some Hex. It rose to my number 2 position. Crazy, thanks to the whale. Oh, what's with Weekly Max? Yeah, you're too good. Thank you, Howard, for everything you do. Cry Havoc, thoughts on Nexo? We are going to do a review on that as well as CRO. So stay tuned, Cry Havoc. Thank you. Kelton Johnson, you said you'd lock down your Google spreadsheet. What do you use to do so? Aha! I use a YubiKey. So basically, I have a YubiKey in the back of one of my many machines. I have about 7 or 8 computers here. And I have a dedicated machine just for Gmail, which means just for my Google Docs. And without that, you can't get into it. So that's how I lock it down. Everybody, and also the YubiKeys work with FTX and Coinbase and everything else. So check out my video of the 20 tips on how to lock down your security. Everybody needs to lock down security. Remember, as Bitcoin increases in value, you all become targets. So be careful out there. Mary Buckley, how will the specter of hyperinflation and the economic uncertainty that brings the impact on Bitcoin? So I do believe, I have a theory that the world is waking up to the value of Bitcoin after 12 years. Everybody's looking for a flight to safety and a hedge because, the money printing is going to continue and deflation, debasement of the currency is going to continue. And everybody's aware of that now. Like 20, 30 years ago, many people were aware of that with the hyper rich and they bought things like gold. The game is different now. Everybody can hedge themselves. So I think, as I always say, all roads lead to Bitcoin. It's all good. The more money printing, the more inflation, the more it supports the use case for Bitcoin. Nemesis, what music are you into? And is it too late to get into Solana? Good question. So I have a very eclectic mix of music. I love Tool and Radiohead and stuff like that. And also some DJs like Boris Brejcha out of Germany. So weird mix. Just thought I'd share that with you. Now Solana is hard. I personally have limits at $50.1 and $55.1 to buy Solana. I'm hoping for a dip. I bit the bullet yesterday and bought some. Just have a little bit more because I believe the long-term picture is extremely good. So I bought it just over $50 yesterday. But I couldn't believe it bounced up so high. So let me see. Sid Contractors, recommend limit on Solana. That's the same question. Everyone's asking about Solana. Yeah, like 50 to 55, wait for a dip. After a big run, it is showing a little bit of exhaustion after that move. But I also believe the market is aware of the value that is here. And, institutions are waking up. Maybe somebody's looking at some of my charts and stuff. But if we are lucky, there could be that dip down to $50 to $56. So that's why I like the 55.1 level. But then again, we'll see. If you really don't have any, maybe get a little bit at $61, like a third of your portfolio, wait for a dip, buy a third at 55.1, and then another third at 50. And that way you're covered. So that's if we do have weakness. Infinite Echoes, thoughts on Audius and its deal with TikTok. Also your thoughts on Rally and making your own creator coin. Yeah, I heard about Rally, and I know some creators are creating them. I would do the Rally stuff if I could find a way to make sure all value created is donated. But I don't know what the situation is there. So we'll definitely dig into that. Regarding Audius, we are looking into Theta right now. I know Audius is a similar type of play, and the deal with TikTok is obviously huge. But I think Audius has also exploded just like Theta. So sometimes I don't chase stuff. Let me see. And it's on FTX, which is also nice. Yeah. Oh my God. The chart is a little bit bonkers. Let's look at, actually, yeah. So this is the problem, when these things happen, it's already buy the rumor, sell the news. So shot up to $3. It's already down at 260, 269. So it might be too late to chase. And I don't chase. I don't advise you can ever chase because you can't make crazy money if you chase things. You got to wait, set your traps, buy them cheap, be patient, and wait for them to bounce. So Infinite Echoes, interesting, but I think it's too expensive right now. I will have a look at the intrinsic value and see what I can figure out. Monkey Bonobo Gorilla, how are you? Would REITs be a good option if you're the kind of person who wants to own property but don't want to deal with the headaches that come with it, like collecting rent repairs? Yeah, the problem is, though, when you buy a REIT, there's a whole food chain above you that's feeding off you, and you get the crumbs at the end of the line. So I understand that maybe you don't have time to manage property, but sometimes you can just buy like a fourplex and hire a property manager that can do it for you, manage the repairs and everything. But that's where you make most money. If you're just getting your REIT, there'll be very little capital appreciation or none, and you get your dividend, but nothing like owning the pure form. Like with anything else, don't buy, if you can buy Bitcoin pure, don't buy a proxy unless you can leverage it with options and things like that. So that's my take. Alpha Jester, I've heard you talk about taking profits at the end of the bull run. However, what cryptos are worth just hodling long term? So that's a very good question. I think things like Ethereum, maybe Solana now, and Bitcoin are long term holds. If you don't need the money, don't want the headache of getting in and getting out and selling, that's fine. But then we are also going to be coming out with a series that will look at potential exits for a whole bunch of cryptos that are worth selling. And we'll talk about that too. Like, I'm in a lot of stuff that's purely speculative. I won't mention any names because I don't want any hate. But those names are not keepers. They're just things that I know will bump. You get your 2x, you get your 3x, and then you get out. Or you take your money off the table. So that's kind of the plan there. So One Brightum, stay tuned for that. And, oh, sorry, that was Alpha Jester, One Brightum. How would you know if the BTC top was to be as most predicted around September? It's not. I see it going out till March, April, May, maybe even June 2022. Unless, of course, things explode real fast. And again, cycles are going to be longer. And retracements won't be as bad in the past because the effect of the halving is less. The type of people that are buying Bitcoin now, the people with 10 Bitcoin or less, most of them are investing for the long term. They have a 5-year and 10-year plan. They're not getting in and getting out. They don't want to deal with the capital gains tax headache. And then the institutions that are getting in too, most of them, like treasuries and balance sheets, sovereign current countries, they're not trading it. So, what percentage am I sure of an extended cycle? I'd say originally, if you had talked to me in January this year, 8 months ago, I would have said it would be over in October, November. Now I am 80% sure we're going out till March, April, May. So that's my take. Kevin Lee, what do you think about Illuvium at a 2.9 to current market cap? Do you think it's a great investment? Yeah, I don't know. Let me think. Hang on a second. Sometimes people think I have everything in my head, and I don't. And I tend to focus on the top 100. And this one is number 239. So, oh my God, no. I can tell automatically. Tokenomics is poor. It's going to have a lot of inflation. And chart looks dangerous. That would not be one I would touch. That's like jumping in front of a train. So Kevin Lee, nope. That's a nix on Illuvium. The Underdog. Any thoughts on Chia? I'm losing faith in the concept of hard drive, POS, POT. Chia, I don't even know what Chia is. Is that another one of these things that's down in Chia? I don't know what Chia is, actually. Sorry. Chia crypto. Try to find the symbol. And that could be another one of those situations. Okay. Market rank, 2,600. That's not where I go. It looks like it stinks all around. It doesn't even report any data. If it's the Chia network, no. But I don't know if it's the same thing. Sorry about that. Never heard of Chia. And it doesn't look good from what I see. If it is the Chia network I'm looking at right now. And Zabjuda, how are you? Can you share L1 score for your new model? Yes, I can, and it's pretty good. I think the score is a 5.6. So it is not the worst. It's in the top third of the top 100 cryptos. So it's not bad. But the reason we haven't dug into Elrond is because it's run so fast already. But it is, so far, looking pretty good from the outside. We'll eventually get to it, but we've got other ones to prioritize first. Mei Xun 10. Price prediction for Solana end of this year. Well, not end of the year, but end of the bull run. It is. I had a conservative price prediction of about $99 up to $250. But I think $250 is very achievable if they continue their momentum around what they're doing. But I know that's it's kind of crazy to say because it was $20 a few weeks ago to go to $250. So my super conservative is $100 for sure, and straight to $250 is probable. So that's what I say. But again, do your own research. I have now 4 or 5 different price prediction models for Solana, and I compare them to different cryptos. I compare them to fundamental values, and it's looking very, very good. That's why I was so bullish on it for such a long time, and that's why it's my third biggest bag. BZZN, CZZN. Some retirement accounts can only be invested in mutual funds, no GBTC. How to get BTC exposure via mutual fund. Thoughts on Bitcoin futures. Yeah, there are a couple of mutual funds that are heavy in crypto, but sometimes your company may dictate, if they work with Vanguards or Fidelity, which mutual funds you have access to. But there are a bunch that have a lot. Also, you could also go into things like some of the ARK ETFs. They don't have pure Bitcoin exposure, but some of their funds like the ARK has GBTC in it. Tesla, that has some Bitcoin exposure, and others. There's also a few funds that invest heavily in things like mining companies. And, check it out. See what your company has on offer, but every company is different. But there are lots of new proxy ways to get exposure. Aaron Sandoval, what entry point do you suggest for Tesla, MicroStrategy, and Coin? So I expect a lot of equity weakness. I'm actually building a new retire on equities of 50,000 portfolio that I've allocated. We made the first trade today in that position, but I'm going to be very slow, very calculating, and gather things over the next 6 to 8 weeks, and very, very kind of small positions. So I used $850 of the 50,000 today on one position. So Tesla, MicroStrategy, Coinbase. Like Coinbase could go back to $230. Tesla, I watch like a hawk. It is one of my biggest positions. And let me see. I think Tesla easy is 640. There's a lot of bad news coming out now about Tesla and some crash reports and stuff like that, and grumblings out of China. It's currently at 685. I like Tesla at 640 or below, but if there is a big market dip, we could all go all the way to 540. 540 is the floor of Tesla. And MicroStrategy is a function of Bitcoin. So you got to look at Bitcoin very carefully to understand where MicroStrategy is going. But again, the MicroStrategy floor is also 540, but Bitcoin's much stronger now. So I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to say, but low 600s for MicroStrategy is a good deal as long as Bitcoin stays strong. And it can make it there with market weakness. It can drag the whole market down. So that's my quick take. Hey, thank you for your donation, everybody. Mojo, Rodney, Tudhill, Hacksaw, Bombiggy. You're there every day, Bombiggy. Sid Contractors. Please ensure you take a breather. Yeah, but there's too much to do. I can breathe when I'm dead. Jeff Haberberg, grateful for your wisdom, kindness. Spunky Punkette, Air to the Ron, Solana Pump. Equal audio's pattern with TikTok. Yeah, it is actually. That's a very good point. And wow, there's a ton of questions. So we'll cut off the super chats now. Jeeves, keep calm and huddle on. And Mr. Burns, thank you so much. Rob Side, for the Sol animals, do you do one-on-one calls for a charge? No, I don't. I don't talk to anybody. I do this to give back. I don't do any one-on-ones. I don't manage anybody's money. I just try to give people the tools by which they can use to fish for themselves and gain financial freedom. That's the whole mission of this channel. This channel is not about making money. It's about helping people improve their lives. Good people, not bad people. Jonathan Hernandez. In my opinion, nobody should FOMO into Solana just yet. Quant shot up to 190 in August and then eventually dropped back to the mid 150s. So true. Always be patient. That's why I say never chase, especially cryptos, because they go like this and then sometimes they can go like this. However, Solana has a lot of intrinsic value, has yet to be tapped. So again, extremely bullish on the project, but I'm not buying up here. So I'll buy $50, a small position. 45, I'll buy a bigger position. 40 if it goes that low, very, very, very big position. But that's how I do it. I DCA on steroids. I have a video called that, actually, if you guys want to see how I do it. Diego Berja. If you had 0.4 BTC and 4 ETH, would you exchange it all in BTC or you go to be a whole coin? I like that spread because you're basically 50-50 right now with a little bit heavier on the Bitcoin side, or 55, whatever. But I do see the Bitcoin to ETH ratio being 10-1. So when that happens, that would be the point where you want to consider selling ETH and then pumping into Bitcoin. But try become a whole coiner the other way. But I do believe ETH has a long way to run. And, Bitcoin is basically 45, call it $50,000. It's going to double, but Ethereum is going to triple. So it'll be the faster horse. And then be disciplined, calculate your exit, and then buy Bitcoin on a dip. Not financial advice, but that's what I would do. Then again, I'm also very bullish in Ethereum, and I may hold it long term. Okay, so Ethan, how does one objectively approach how much they can afford to lose? So imagine you have $100,000 in assets. You have a third of them as a down payment for your house. That's $33,000. You got $33,000 in conservative mutual funds, and then maybe $30,000 in terms of stocks. So of that, you would take a third of the third, and that would be your risky portfolio, which would make up about 10%, 5 to 10% of your overall portfolio. That's called your play money. Now you speculate with that, speculate hard, expect good returns. But if you lose it, you're not destroyed. You can recoup that 10% or 5% of your total wealth back easily. So that's the way I think of things. Think of it in thirds, break into thirds. I've done this my entire life. John Dill. And that's not financial advice, by the way. Ethan, thank you for the question. John Dill, are you bullish on Galaxy Digital? And why do you think the stock hasn't performed well recently? Well, they had earnings. They got crushed in earnings. Mike Novogratz is like, I don't care. I made it up in the first few weeks of Q3 anyway. So you got to remember their earnings are tied to their assets. They have to take markdowns. And, towards the end of June, the market was ugly as hell. So they got clobbered in earnings. And sometimes the stock market, you'd think they'd have professionals that would do corporate valuations. It's like Tesla came out with the most incredible earnings. The stock tanked. And it was a beautiful buying opportunity for so many people. So sometimes people don't do their homework, or they don't understand how the crypto market works, or proxies work, or do the math. So I don't know. I'm still very bullish in Galaxy. I still hold Galaxy. It'll be weak, but it'll come back when the market comes back. So it's already, I think Galaxy has done incredibly well anyway over the past month. Let me just check. Refresh my mind on the Galaxy chart. I was looking at it earlier today, but I don't know where it closed at. Yeah, so it bounced beautifully off the low, and I was pounding the table on that at $10, $11. Back when I was letting it shot up above 20, and now it's a little bit weak again. So I always say Galaxy $15, $16 is a buy. Of course, not financial advice from me personally. So let me see. Gareth Sims. Oh, I hope I'm not keeping you late, brother. It's so late over there. What platforms do you recommend to trade equities? I'm in Wales and I don't have a lot to invest, so I'm not interested in puts and calls at this stage. Trade equities. I'm not too sure of the best equity trading platform. I know the best options trading platform in the UK, but let me see. I could ask. I've got a lot of people in Patreon and equity, but I'm sure most. Let me see. I'm gonna look this up for you real quick because you're up so late. I know some of the names. I can't remember them offhand, and I can search quickly here. Yeah, it comes up with the same thing all the time, all over the world, as Interactive Brokers. So check those guys out. They're the best. And then if you do want to grow into options, you can do it with those guys too. So Gareth, thank you for the question. Lohoff, Nexo Earn is blocked in Texas and a few other states. Yeah, Nexo is much bigger in Europe. Voyager taking weeks to get verified. Yep, their KYC AML is a pain in the butt. I have half my crypto in Celsius, looking for another good home for passive earn. Well, Voyager will come through eventually, and I practiced a little bit of passive income tests there as well. So I just say hold tight, wait for Voyager, and I'm not concerned about half your bag being on Celsius. So wait and see. There are also some of the exchanges also are now offering some passive income earning capabilities. So check those out too. I don't know if you're on Coinbase or other ones. Craig Moss. Hey James, where does your passion for animal rescue come from? Also, why hasn't Bitcoin gone straight to 50k? Seems like it leveled off 47. Yeah, I was looking at the chart last night regarding Bitcoin, and I thought, it was a 2 or 3% away from 50,000. It looks strong, but it looks like the other alts are getting the attention. So I don't know. I just I grew up with a dog as a kid, and he was like a brother to me, and I like animals, and I hate to see cruelty to animals. So that's it, and we can make a difference. So we're also going to do some things for some human trafficking and kids in need and stuff like that as well. So yeah, we'll see. Bitcoin can run very, very fast. It has been weak, and we're waiting for it to pounce. I don't know. It's one of those things you never know what it's going to do. But basically, actually, it's getting to the point now where it's actually getting attractive. I wouldn't mind seeing $42,000 Bitcoin, because that's when you back up the truck. That's a good price. But I think as well, we might see a lot of weaknesses ahead, because there's so much nervousness in the world right now with ISIS taking over Afghanistan, Delta, supply chain problems. Yeah, the whole host of issues, a lot of uncertainty around the stuff I spoke about today as well. Interest rates and things, tapering. So we'll see. Oh, so many questions. Okay, Eric, how are you? Saw your exit model for Amazon. It went by 330 intervals. Interval for Tesla. We're working on that. We are building custom exit models that tie to TA, my price targets, and your entry prices. So stay tuned for that. And the Amazon one, it's a function of your risk profile. So it depends on exactly what you want to do. I think for that model, we assumed a risk profile of 3, which is kind of on the a risk profile of 1 is super conservative, super risk averse. Risk profile of 10 means you hold forever. So it's like Bitcoin, you'd be at 10. So basically you wouldn't sell. But we will be working on models for Tesla and everything else. We want to make sure it's perfect. So Eric, thank you for that question. Let me see. From Kimpatsu, sent you a question on Patreon on August 11th. I still haven't gotten a reply. And have you seen the documentary Planet of the Humans? If record clean energy is a lie. I haven't seen the documentary. Don't watch TV. But I can. It looks kind of a scary one. We can check. I have somebody checking that inbox, but that inbox gets thousands of messages. Best place to reach me is within Patreon. I post 2 to 3 times every single day, and I engage with all the comments there. And I'm also in Discord as well. So Kimpatsu, sorry about that. We will check on it and get back to you. Abdullah, do you think Ethereum will find another way to scale instead of switching to proof of stake next year? Especially the SEC after alts. I think Ethereum will be okay from the SEC perspective. Bitcoin is definitely going to be perfect, fine, safe, and the SEC can't go after something I think that was ICO'd in 2014. So I'm conservative there, and the layer 2 solutions help it scale. So they just need to do work with more of those, and I think they will crack the code by December for scalability with proof of stake, especially with sharding. So I'm not concerned. I believe they have it well in hand. I just hope they get the gas fees under control right now. But the problem is the network is scaling so much. It's not that they haven't solved scaling. It's growing so fast. And that's what people don't realize. Let me see. Dosfaratu, may I please ask why you have come to your optimistic valuation of a Link? Yes, because I believe in DeFi and Ethereum and all the other protocols, and they are the oracle of choice. They are everywhere. They have integrations with everybody. So basically, it's like a coin toll bridge metering machine. It'll just continue to take a piece. And it's also very well trusted. So that's why I have a lot of faith in Link. It is, let me check on how big my Link position is actually compared to everything else. And as an overall position in my crypto, it is very, very small. Like it's a fraction of my positions, because my positions have actually been outpaced by things like Aave and Solana and Polkadot and those names. But I still have Link. I still have Algorand. Still waiting to see how they go. Tony Palmieri. James, at which point should someone stop investing in Bitcoin? 60,000? I think if you don't have any and you want to get to that whole coin stage, I'd buy all the way up to 65,000. But we could see a dip to 42,000 over the next day or so. I was pretty sure, based on the charts and the money and all the signs I saw in the week before, I thought we could hit 50,000 by tomorrow. It looks like that's not the case. We're seeing extreme weakness. But again, 42,000 is a killer price point to buy and dollar cost average in. But we could also get a lot of weakness. There's a lot of insecurity now in the world. So there's no telling where this is going. But if you don't have any, I think it's a safe bet up to 60,000, because everybody knows it's going to 100,000. So it's a good return even at that. Stephen Curran, I already own Cell, ADA, VGX, STMX, FTT, and DOT. Considering adding either Bitcoin or ETH for longer term exposure. Well, if you don't have any Bitcoin, you need some Bitcoin for sure. And ETH, everybody needs some ETH. So you have a lot of utility tokens in there, like Cell and FTT. I hope you're making best use of those. But yeah, everybody needs to have some Bitcoin. It's the safest, biggest, most secure play of all. May not be the fastest, but definitely the most secure. Super Trooper 108. Can you tell me how you feel about GRT? Yeah, we looked at, let's pull that up real quick and clear. We looked at the graph, and from from our crypto compendium, it was disastrous. So everything is not good, from circulating supply, insider distribution, inflation rate, etc. It just didn't look like a good project. So I don't feel good about that. Wouldn't invest at all. So sorry if that's bad news for you. And again, that's just not my opinion. It's what the data tells us. So Matt, you were spot on about Solana being the fastest horse right now. What do you think about the fastest Bitcoin mining horse right now? Hut 8? It's hard to say. Riot and Marathon and even Hive, they're all scaling really, really fast. And then you have other groups that are being funded right now by others. I hope I didn't lose internet. My model crapped out for a second. But it's hard to say. I always liked Hut 8 from the beginning because of their management team and the fact that they say they're never going to sell Bitcoin, and they have a lot on the balance sheet. So from that perspective, it's safe, but it's already more than doubled in the last couple of weeks. So again, I don't chase, but Marathon and Riot, on any dips, they're good to buy as well. Luke Broyles, Devil's Advocate. Is it possible that gold is a decent inflation hedge, but last decade has been abnormally bad? And what would prevent a reprice upwards? So when I look at gold, you got to look at the world. So who's buying gold? The people that buy gold tend to be over 60 years of age because they know it and they trust it. But all the money now is within people 40 to 60. They're not buying gold. Now, you got people who have gold who are 80. They might be leaving it to their loved ones. They're selling it. And those people that are selling it are buying Bitcoin. So I just see a big drainage from the world. I see the only people that are actually buying gold right now are kind of central banks and people in super, super conservative countries. But I don't know. I just don't see the future. And in fact, when you talk about the flippening of gold, I have a theory as well. Let me unveil it for you guys. I think it's going to happen sooner than later because the market cap of gold will continue to debase, especially if you look at the fact that the dollar's debasing, and if the price continues to fall because nobody's buying it up, and the miners are bringing it out of the ground quicker than ever at $600 an ounce, and it's valued at 800. That's an arbitrage opportunity. And anybody who says invest in gold, don't actually invest in gold. They buy the miners because the miners are profitable. Just like Bitcoin mining now, they're making a lot of money. So I don't know. I just don't see the fun in gold. And silver, I was looking at silver, never pulled a trigger because it's so manipulated, just like gold price. So just don't trust it. So Miguel Bello, hi James, do you see any red flag for IOTEX? Not IOTA. Let me see. I hope it's not outside the top. IOTEX. We see. Bear with me. Pull it up. IOTEX. And of course it's number 103. So it's not on the list. And it spiked and it's coming back down again. And circulating supply looks okay. I'd have to have a look, but it's not on the top 100. So just missed the cutoff. So I'm so sorry about that, Miguel. Don't have any data on it. It doesn't look too bad though from first blush from some of the data that I see. Ronnie, is XRP a good investment? What do you think? Good price prediction. I don't look at XRP because of its tarnished nature, and I know it's doing really, really well, but it's just and I every time I mention XRP, I get a lot of hate. I do see it going to $2, however, but that's all I can say. Oh, by the way, this is the first live cast we've done where Bitcoin has actually dipped. And it just took a big wick down to 45.5. And Ethereum is 31.26. And let me see if Solana has hit the kill zone yet to buy. Let me see. Wow. Yeah, market is falling. So XRP, I don't know. The people that love XRP love it. It's just I don't have room in my stable. That's the polite way of saying it. And I don't like the way they got 51 billion tokens in escrow that they could dump at any time, which is more than 50% of the supply. So just go online and read about it. There's lots of stuff to read and you'll find all the answers you need. Moar Musayev. There is a new ETH token called Home. It's connected to real estate. It's not on CoinGecko, but looks very promising. Look up RoofPay protocol. I will indeed. I'm very interested in real estate plays, and there's a lot of stuff being done in that area. So I will check that out more. Thank you so much. And thanks for your donations as well. Rodney Tootle again, Daniel Etherington, and hopefully is the end. Andrew Wells and Chadwick. Hey, Chadwick, good to see you again. You're too kind. Thanks for your donation, John Sabel. Donating for the animals for Solana. Thank you for all you do. You're very kind. Thank you, John Sabel. Another, these donations are out of control. At this stage, it's nearly, we've got somebody literally organizing donations full time. So we're very grateful, but please, if you have family, etc., that need the money more than the animals, please take care of your family first. And if you feel you've made a lot of money from this service, then feel free to donate a tiny piece to the animals. So that's the way everybody should look at this. Craig Parkin, please check out Ethical Elephant Sanctuary in Chiang Mai because there are no tourists. They're very short on money and the elephants are suffering. I will definitely do that, Craig. That'll be taken care of this weekend. Yuri, when does your Patreon open up to new members? So we're keeping that very small and intimate because it grew too big too fast and that wasn't the plan. So we... some people non-renew or forget to renew or credit cards expire at the first of the month. So just try be there September 1st, early morning, and try get in. So that's all I can say. But we're keeping it small and intimate because if it gets too big, we're concerned. And we also don't want any scammers in there just in case. So it's a very safe, private community. Rasco Rodriguez, what are your thoughts on Kusama? Are you more bullish on Kusama or DOT? So right now, actually yesterday, on live on George's DCA channel, he wanted us to pick a crypto for the week. And my choice was actually Kusama. And today it was up 11% this morning. And I think it's tanked again right now. So I got in at 274 was the price live on Cryptos R Us. It's now 287. And it hit a crazy 318 today, 319. So it went from 274 to 319 back to 287. So I think Kusama's overdue for a run. I haven't done a deep dive. I've done a very cursory view of it. I like a lot of what I see. It went through the model very well as well. So that's all I can say. So I think Polkadot has run. I think Kusama has the time for a little bounce, because the space is ready for it. So that's my take on Kusama. Samantha Sato, what do you recommend for starting your children a crypto portfolio? Check my video. Teach your kids how to invest, and it's very important you make it fun for children, because at a young age, if they have a bad experience, they'll be turned off and they'll never get back to it. So we have built out an optimal portfolio for kids, which includes things like Roblox stock, a little bit of Bitcoin for their future education fund, Axis, some NFT plays as well if they like sports, and other plays if they like arts. So you can cater the portfolio to the kids. Check out my video. I put it out about 2 weeks ago. And it has all the answers for you in great detail. And it's fun to watch with the kids too. But I think they need to be at least 7 years of age. The youngest investor we know of is 7 and very successful. Anthony Branchflower, what do you think about R-Wave, its Sol's decentralized storage? I don't know. I tend to look at the protocols themselves and not all of the ecosystem around it. But Anthony, I will check it out. And the decentralized storage is a very competitive place, though, with Filecoins and others. So it's cutthroat. I don't believe in this space, so I probably wouldn't invest. I hope that helps you. Thomas Lean from Norway. Well, you're up late. Feel free to take a look at BitDAO. Okay, I do like DAOs, and we're doing an upcoming video on DAOs actually, but BIT, let's see what that looks like real quick. If it's not in my handy dandy spreadsheet, yeah, no information, gaming, so hard for me to determine anything. For me as well, when I invest, I need to have full transparency. I need to know everything about the project, and looks like there's not a lot of information there, Thomas. But thank you so much for the tip. Faz Pharrell, have you ever seen a UFO? Nope, not that I know of. I used to do a lot of scuba diving. I saw some weird things under the water that I thought I didn't know what they were, but that's just deep underwater. Ian, I have the January 2021 HUD 8 Leaps $5 strike, and I'm already way up. Yes, you should be doubling your money at least. When or at what price would you consider closing out of that position? I think when HUD goes above $10, I'd sell an out of the money call against your long position. And there must be a problem with your date, because it can't be January 2021. It must be January 2022. Or if it's a leap, it's January 2023. So, I'd open up a spread, sell a call out of the money against it. Rise of the Crypto Walker. When coins run up in a day like Sol Audio, wouldn't it be good to sell a portion on the top of the band and then buy back retracement, even in a hodl portfolio? Yeah, you can do that, but then it's messy when it comes to taxes and all that type of stuff. So for the things, I have two groups. I have my hodl portfolio, like you mentioned, that I just keep and hold, and I don't trade, and I've got things I get in and out of, like more on a speculative basis. But Sol wouldn't fall into that criteria. I meant to Sol for the 3-digit price that I believe is coming. And again, thank you for your donation. Ernest Lee, Valerie Cox, Winslow, Farms, Horses, Goats, Peacocks, etc. Read her story, please. We will. And we take all of your information. Ian, and Titiblisk, good morning from South Korea. Good morning too. And you're there every day. And thank you for being here. I hope all is good. Moneypenny, greets from Switzerland. Hello. God, all you Europeans are up so late, and the people in Asia are up so early. So big thank you, everybody. You're all so gracious and generous, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.